This is a group of people that I would pick up from the airport at like 8 in the morning. They are all so driven to just make the best possible game that they can make.
All of us are passionate about the games that we make, but what makes making games fun are the people that you work alongside of. That's what makes it really, truly something you can just dig your teeth into year after year.
Chapter 4 is going to be the last chapter of this book of The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One.
YouTube's newest hero is here to save the day. His name, Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Want to talk about a couple of video game news related stories, one of which is pretty funny. Actually, when I think about it, these stories are both very funny in their own way. So you know what to do already. Let's just get into the article today, folks. Or the first of which, Sucker Punch Productions to make layoffs. They've been making layoffs since I believe October or November of this year when you go on Reddit. So it's not like it's a brand new thing. But Andrew Hyten, thank you to you, sir, for this article. Sucker Punch Productions co-founder leaves studio nearly after 30 years, but by golly, man, talk about loving your job a lot. And a huge changing of the guard has occurred behind the scenes at Sucker Punch Productions. The mega successful developer has announced that Brian Fleming has left and 2 new faces will oversee the company's future moving forward. Given that it's Sony, given that it's PlayStation, given that Neil Druckmann is running this show at Naughty Dog, given that Naughty Dog has nothing to do with Sucker Punch Productions, but seriously, Neil Druckmann's DNA is all over the place. It would not surprise me if the 2 replacements for Fleming are people that wear nose rings and have different colored hair. Oh, please let that be the case. Since 1998, Fleming has served as co-founder of Sucker Punch and producer as well. He produced a banger of Sly Cooper games. Sly Cooper, I will say, I haven't been the biggest fan of those games. I'm sure they've got a huge fan base and I've never actually sat down properly to play them. They seem okay. I think Jak and Daxter's more my cup of tea when it comes to playing those goofy type of games, because Jak and Daxter really does lean into the innuendo, if you know what I mean.
Whoa, she's a Betty! And she likes you, Jak. Not that I can account for her tastes. I bet you'd love to pin some medals on her chest, huh?
But December the 16th is a significant day in the studio's illustrious history. Though the article states that the next chapter begins with Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley teaming up to take the studio forward with new releases and ideas. Oh, so they've already named them then. Okay, that's fair enough. The statement rather transparently reveals that Fleming has actually worked closely with PlayStation Studios to ensure that Sucker Punch was in the best hands moving forward for the last year. So they're going to a bit of an in-depth article about what they expect. Nate Fox will continue as the co-creative director to complete the overall creative leadership team. No surprise that this is coming on the back of Ghost of Yotei doing very badly in terms of the critical reception. Now, people, obviously Sony has spearheaded this by saying, bro, in the first month it sold over 3 million copies, not including digital sales. But of course, when you get weirdos like Diego Aguelo defending Sucker Punch and Ghost of Yotei, it's no surprise. If you have a look down here towards the end, elsewhere, according to Sony's fiscal report for the second quarter ending September 30th, 2025, Ghost of Yotei accrued 3.3 million sales as of the 2nd of November. There you go. That is video game journalism 101, ladies and gents. Although in Diego's case, I'm pretty much certain that he is in fact a she pretending to be a he, or maybe the other way round. So all the cope and defense over Ghost of Yotei with a very unlikable protagonist. For me, the only attractive thing about that game is Lord Sato. You should have made him the lead character of that sequel.
impossible. The swordsmith's daughter. I watched that tree burn. How did you escape?
Same way. I survived every battle.
And trust me, bro, people would have bought the game in droves, played the hell out of it. But of course, he's the baddie of the piece, and he gets defeated by Atsu at the end because she's the better person, despite her ass getting kicked when they first meet. And of course, just because Erika Ishii, the voice actress behind Atsu in Ghost of Yotei, happens to be gay in real life, they had to make sure in the game she was also a gay protagonist with a girlfriend and a child.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.
Push Square published this article on the 11th of November saying Ghost of Yotei PS5 sales surpassed 3.3 million units, and it crushes the boycott nonsense, which again, we know is not to be the case. But then a bit later on, and this is the 28th of November, Japanese Ghost of Yotei PS5 sales are just about hanging on. I wonder why that is, because Japan is a key market for PlayStation, but they want their original titles to do really well up there. And have a look at this breakdown, which I thought was pretty cool. So on the 29th of September, it started off with 120,000 sales, and that's pretty impressive. But then by the 17th of November, or actually up to the 23rd of November, it drops down to 1,891 sales. Don't forget that 3.3 million only includes physical copies, not digital sales. So if they were to include digital sales, that would obviously make a bit of a difference. But in terms of, yeah, again, if you're downloading it, you can't get a refund. Sony, it doesn't do the hardline refund unless you're talking about a broken game like Cyberpunk 2077 in its first iteration. I mean, the warning signs were there for that particular title that it wouldn't run well on the then current gen consoles. Lords of the Fallen 2, and it will have attractive female characters in revealing outfits. Now, what I find very funny about this headline alone, and again, thank you Grant Taylor Hill for publishing this article here, sir, it's almost like that the people behind this sequel want to be, they've watched Stellar Blade, they've watched key games from China, especially Tides of Annihilation. They have very attractive female characters. I can't say what the story beats and storylines will be for Tides of Annihilation. Looks like it's a AAA production. You're bringing in voice actresses and actors, I would presume, for the male roles. And it, you know, in concept and in trailer gameplay reveals, promising so far, but we could all be let down at the end, folks. Recently, CI Games presented an all-new trailer for Lords of the Fallen 2 at Jeffrey Keighley's Game Awards, unveiling more of the game's backstory and setting. It was lapped up by the Souls-like fans worldwide, given that the first game was positively received and also has been updated with a supersized V patch of 2.0, or rather 2.5. Maybe O at the end, just to make it sound extra bulky. In a post on social media, CI Games CEO and the head of the studio, Marek Tymiński, reverted to his rhetoric about games needing to avoid political agendas. He stated in clear terms that Lords of the Fallen 2, slated for a 2026 release, will feature attractive female characters wearing revealing outfits. Amen! That's what we need, because guys and girls who are gamers like to play as hot characters. Not for gooning pleasure. I mean, if you want to goon at an AI version of a video game character, there are certain sites you can go to where they actually cater for that. It's absolutely insane, and I've seen it with my own eyes. It's kind of hilarious, actually. In a recent social media post, Tymiński stated that because he was actually answering some questions. So, and in fact, what he said was, many of you have asked why the game initially had body type A and B, which I find such a ridiculous statement in the first place. Body type A is male, B is female.
He, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary.
What's that?
Hexworks stated early in 2020 as an autonomous studio owned by CI Games. Early on, political correctness and filtering meant that not every decision reached Tyminski on time. As of late 2024, he's now acting as head and CEO of the studio, which means he is ruling with an iron fist, albeit he's still bringing that fun and frivolity into the sequel for Lords of the Fallen. Things are very different now, and the studio got fully integrated. We reverted a lot of wrong decisions and will continue to improve. Lords 2 is being built on real player feedback, and it's crystal clear in the last 2 trailers. My goodness. One user asked, I'm going to buy the game, definitely. Will there be attractive female characters? And will they be wearing revealing outfits and armor? I mean, you could probably say that the male characters might have some of that as well, but not as much. Marek simply responded yes. He also went on to stress that Lords of the Fallen 2 will be a proper Souls-like. And I'm not a big fan of Souls-like games, I have to be honest. They do grate on my nerves. And that soon enough, the team will release an unedited gameplay trailer featuring said hot females. Now, it doesn't say that here, but you've got to guess if he's gone on to answer a fan's question about hot female characters wearing outfits. You're gonna have to bring that to the dinner table, Marek Tyminski, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do that. When another fan pointed out that games should be fun and not politically correct, Tyminski wrote correct. And he came under a lot of flack saying, why are you saying this? And again, forced DEI in games, it's a big problem right now. He backed up a statement made by CI Games marketing director, which suggests that the studio would not shoehorn DEI elements into their games just to tick their political agenda checkbox. Now, I'm very curious because these female characters, these attractive female characters that we're yet to see, are they going to have skin tone changes, or is it going to be one specific skin tone? And we know where we're going with this one, right? But you can just change the armor sets and the outfits. I wonder. I'm banking on the fact that Tyminski will just have one specific skin complexion, which I think will be effing hilarious if they go down that route. And they should, by the way, go down that route, because that's how it should be. It's very curious about why him mentioning this actually made me think of Forza Horizon 6, because if you don't know this, before Playground Games was bought up by Microsoft, they were a phenomenally successful studio. And then, of course, they got bought up, and then it's caused the founder of Playground Games to obviously up and leave and form Lighthouse Games, based in Leamington Spa in England. And it's not just a studio, it's a beacon for game developers pushing the limits of creativity. And this is their little trailer here, which I kind of like, actually. And you can kind of see the type of people who are working there. They look like normal people in England who want to play a good and make a really good video game. And they're actually working on a brand new racing game that's going to be far different from Forza Horizon and Grid and Project Gotham Racing, all those classics. I'm very curious to see what they're going to bring to the table, and it's fantastic that they're actually doing this. And again, you know, if you played Forza Horizon 5 where they force you to choose a pronoun for your fragging male or female character, I wouldn't blame Playground Games for implementing that. It's Microsoft. It's Sarah Bond, it's Phil Spencer.
My name is Sarah Bond. My pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Phil Spencer. I go by him, her pronouns.
Put that shit in there. I mean, it's bad enough you got a female announcer just driving you effing crazy.
Hello, I'm Anna, your automated natural navigation system.
Lighthouse Games, a renowned video game development studio, has recently secured fresh funding from tech giant Tencent. This investment will enable the studio to further develop its upcoming projects, including a new driving game that promises to deliver an immersive and thrilling experience.
I'm kind of curious to see what Lighthouse Games are bringing to the forefront, and hopefully not the foreskin. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to talk about these two stories today because honestly, Sucker Punch going through changes, oh my god, like David Bowie, I don't think it's going to be for the best. I think it's only going to get worse. And Lords of the Fallen, that's going to be interesting. Well, the sequel I'm talking about specifically, they should call it Lords of the Fallen 2 Double D Edition, because they should really release something like that. That would absolutely crack me up. But honestly, folks, have yourselves a Merry Christmas, have yourselves a great New Year, and without further ado and more merriment and cheer, I will see you seeing me seeing, well, whatever comes out next year on the next video.
Pre-order Lords of the Fallen 2 Double D, babes. You got that?